But you know what? It's okay because nothing could make, especially you, make you upset, make you angry, make you mad. Nothing. Just it's a great day today. It's a wonderful day today. And do you know why that is, Jim?
Why is that?
It is Henry Davis Day.
Yes, it is. It's about time too.
You need to be way more excited than that.
Well, it's also
you of all people.
It's
I
7:15
needed another
in the morning.
meme this morning from you.
It's 7:15 in the morning. I'm excited as I can be at this hour of the day. I'm not like
Fair.
Ethan over here. Ethan getting up early, going for a jog. I'm not a morning person.
For a jog
you
at
know,
7
so
a.m., Ethan.
but no, I'm here. I'm excited. 2021 first overall pick, Henry Davis gets the call. The Louisville alumni. It's a big day.
Louisville Slugger.
It's a big day.
Shout out to Pittsburgh Clothing Company.
No, but like, yeah, from just like a personal fandom standpoint, if I can kind of vent here for a bit.
Yes.
No really like big Louisville star has go on to play their pro sports on a team that I am a big fan of. There's been a few, right? Like Nick Birdie was a Pirate for a while, but like he was a supporting character. The Steelers had Eli Rogers, William Gay, those guys. But like again, like no stars. Henry Davis is a star from Louisville. I'm excited. Yeah, hell yeah.
All I have to say is he better be a star because if he's not, Jim, putting this all on you. The Rosati curse lives on somehow through another of failing Henry Davis's career.
I don't have too many doubts that Henry Davis is going to be able to hit the ball in the majors. Now it's just a matter of, is he going to do it mostly in right field? Is he mostly going to do it behind the plate? Is there going to be a little bit of both? We'll see. I think the plan as of right now is to get him on the field as much as possible, which probably means right field is where he gets the bulk of his playing time. But then at the same time, he wants to be a catcher. The organization wants to develop him as a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine he gets at least 2 starts a week behind the plate. That would kind of be my guess.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting today alone. Like, what does he debut? Where does he debut at? Is he going to debut in the catcher spot? Is he going to debut in right field? I pray it's not DH because that probably means Kutch is getting his 4th day off in 8 days.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be DH.
Right.
It'll be right fielder, catcher, and yeah, I would like to see him debut a catcher. He was drafted as a catcher. The whole hope down the road is that he can catch, right? That's what I would do, but just going to kind of depend on where he fits in right now.
Now, you made the point last night on the post-game show, too. Beto's making the start today, correct?
Beto is starting today, yes.
And so, therefore, there's probably more familiarity with him and Beto than there is like with Austin Hedges and Beto, right? Or Jason DeLay and Beto, because not that they were in the minors together, like it's not like they came through the system together or whatnot. But again, just through spring training, this development, like there's probably been some type of communication between them two, way more than again, like Austin Hedges had his career. So that might be like a leg up, right? I understand Austin Hedges is like this great defensive catcher and all, but maybe he's worked more with Beto. He has more of an understanding. And like you said, he was drafted as catcher. It's a little sentimental, right? Like, hey, here you go, kid. Here's your debut. Put on the catcher's equipment. So I personally feel it's going to be right field still. But I could see the scenario, and it makes sense. Like, there's a real reason why it could be catcher, of course, as well in that case. So I'm going with right field for a debut. You're going for catcher for the debut. But let's just talk about like what Henry Davis brings and like potentially like, throughout this year. Like, where do you feel Henry Davis is going to play the bulk of the games at? Again, like I know he was drafted as a catcher. They're definitely keeping Jason DeLay at this point in time. As well as Austin Hedges. So they all have like a 3-man catcher rotation to some degree. Now, how many starts behind the plate are you truly feeling here?
I think 2 a week is would be pretty acceptable and a good expectation to have. That basically gives you what two Davis starts a week behind the plate. You're probably looking at still like 3 Austin Hedges starts and 1 Jason Delay start. Like that's probably going to mostly be your breakdown for the time being, and I can live with that for now. There's another catcher who's not far behind, and hopefully that changes some things. But yeah, I think that's pretty. I think that's a reasonable expectation is for Henry Davis to catch about twice a week.
Yeah,
but then at the same time, like he's not. This isn't a guy that you're bringing up here and you're giving him a day off every 4 or 5 days. Like Henry Davis, if you're calling him up and you're moving him around, you want him in the lineup as much as possible. You know, he's got to play at least 5 days a week, at least.
Well, there you go. At least, yes. As far as the days off go, I mean, who knows? We love handing days off for people.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Like the two games a week behind the plate makes a whole lot of sense. And they can divide the rest up however they want. It could be 2 and 2 for Delay and Hedges as well. It could be 3 and 1, like you mentioned. But like the 2 makes a whole lot of sense because you want to get him in there. Like the point of getting him here is the offense is so anemic. The catcher spot's a black hole. And I understand like there's an argument that Austin Hedges is very good defensively and what he brings to the pitching staff and such. So like you get him in there here and there as well. But also you have Davis's bat that gets in there, helps him develop a little bit, right? He's going to catch a few times a week. But like on the other end too, I think what he really represents too is Connor Joe, as you talked last night a little bit about too, overexposed. Like when there is a righty up, that could be a good time to get Davis in the outfield. You know, when there was a lefty up, you have Connor Joe in the lineup, and maybe that's when he, you know, that's when Davis catches and such. You know, and then they speaking of days off, they love to give Kutch a day off a lot for some reason. So if there's going to be a day where you spell Kutch, then put Henry Davis at DH that day, and that could be his pseudo day off also, right? Save those legs here and there. So I think that makes a lot of sense for him. I think 2 starts behind the plate about, right? And then having the other 2 or 3 in right field and 1 at DH here and there. I think that's what you will see. I think that's very fine. And the thing about it too is, from my point of view, from what I've seen and read, he's improved defensively behind the plate. It's not there yet, and that's okay because the bat plays. You know, the bat certainly plays. We hope so, at least. But what I want to talk about is defensively in right field. I think last year we were coming away and saying, "Oh boy, he better be good at catcher or improve," because that defense sounded like it was pretty bad in right field. And I don't know, Jim. I've seen some highlights. I've seen some talks. He's got 2 assists on the year so far. He's made a diving catch. And I know there's 2 assists, but we saw the arm and other action too.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of wondering if that defense plays in right field.
I mean, he's an athlete. I think if you take a catcher and you put him in right field, let him work on it for a little bit, especially someone who's like as elite as an athlete as he is. Now, he's not to the athletic ability to say Endy, but Henry Davis can move around. Like he's got 19 stolen bases in the minors. He's faster and more athletic than you would think, right? Yeah, I mean, so far out of right field from what we've seen, he's looked just fine. You mentioned the outfield assists. He got an assist in Altoona, got an assist in AAA. He's made some nice catches out there. The arm definitely plays in right field. Like if you're thinking about like a stereotypical right field arm, Henry Davis has that. So
basically what you've seen from Marte from left seems about what you're getting from Henry Davis and right.
Yeah, I don't know if he has like a Starling Marte type arm, but it's a good arm. Like when he was drafted as a catcher, that was his, like everybody was like, you know, he could use some work on framing and receiving, but the arm's good, right?
Yeah.
So if the arm's good enough to catch, and that's a tool of his, it's going to play in right field too. But yeah, I think like I said, the defense is they're going to find a way to put him in the lineup because right now, more than anything, they need his bat. They need the bat bad. This offense needs a jolt, and I'm just praying that there's a big opportunity sometime in the series where he can get like that first like big hit out of the way or like big moment out of the way. The offense could just really use some energy. They could use some energy. They could use somebody who just like is able to get something done when they need to, and that's where Henry Davis is going to be looking to make his mark. Is on the offensive side. The power is there. He's instantly going to become the most powerful right-handed hitter on this team. So, yeah, let's see what we can do here. Like, this is going to add some length to the lineup. And like I said, it adds that much needed power that they need because this team desperately needs someone who can hit the ball over the fence from time to time.
For sure. More than that, let's talk a little bit about him. So you bring up this point. It was funny because like you question this in our group text. You kind of question like, is this the fastest? Like in the past 30 years, can you think of a Pirate who's come up faster than Henry Davis? And then it was like instantaneously that the tweet came out. What was it since 1978? This is like the fastest first round pick has come
this
through.
This is the fastest a first overall pick has made the majors as in terms of plate appearances,
right?
Since 1978. Now, keep that in mind. His plate appearances seem low because he's been hurt a lot. He missed a lot of time. In his minor league career, he has played a grand total of 118 games. So that's spread out over 2 full seasons now. 118 games for Henry Davis. So, but yeah, the amount of at-bats, least amount of at-bats needed by a first overall pick to reach the majors since 1978.
So there you go. So he has that to his name. And I know some people are using that as if, well, that's reason that the Pirates fast track him. I'm not going to so much. Like you said, a lot of it was because of injury, right? When you're thinking about respectfully, like a lot of it was because of injury. But the dude just seemed ready. And why did he seem ready? Because this year in Double-A, Jim, the numbers speak. 41 games in Double-A. He batted 284, 433, 547 with a 165 weighted runs created plus. What was he doing in Double-A? No business, right? Let's get him up to Triple-A. Move him forward. Now, of course, you just assume, all right, you're going to jump a level. There's a first few games. You're probably going to have some struggles, right? 10 games, Jim. 286, 432, 514. Like almost identical numbers. The slugging down just a tad. 142 weighted runs created plus. 10 games, basically no drop off.
Yeah, I mean, what you love about Henry Davis is, yeah, he can hit the ball, but the approach at the plate is really what like excites you because he's one of those guys where, and it's very similar to like Andrew McCutchen, right? Like Andrew McCutchen's approach is so good that even when he's not hitting the ball, he's still going to give you some value because he's going to make the pitcher throw a lot of pitches. He's going to get on base if he don't walk. He's not going to strike out very much. And that's what we're seeing out of Henry Davis. His approach and his command of the strike zone is very, very good. And it always was. Like when they drafted him out of Louisville,
right? His
eye was a really big reason why he just shot up draft boards. He's got an elite eye. He's walking over 17% of the time this season. And I mean, that's a pretty ridiculous number. I don't know if that will keep up in the majors. But if that number is hovering around 10% or so, then you're looking at a guy who's going to bring you a ton of value just simply by getting on base. And then you add in the power as well. And yeah, you're looking at someone who he can hopefully be a pretty good offensive contributor on this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, he doesn't strike out a lot. He walks. For someone who goes as deep into counts as he does, it's kind of wild to see that strikeout rate as low as it is with the walk rate as high as it is. So excellent approach, good hitter. Like I said, that's one of the reasons why he was drafted so high. He was a pretty close to major league ready bat at the time of the draft. Injuries derailed him a little bit, but he still got here pretty quick. I mean, I think if we were talking on draft night, the expectation was probably getting called up summer of this year.
100% correct. That's what we talked about. The one thing that he represented was it's a guy that college bat, he's close, right? This Pirates window is coming. He can come up quickly, be part of that. Whereas like a high school bat, you're still waiting 4 or 5 years potentially. So I don't know if that window is really here yet or not. The Pirates were in first place though, and maybe a little bit behind on when they should have brought him up. But regardless, he is here now. The Pirates are battling for the division at this point in time, per se. So like he can certainly help. And you're right, like everything in his bat, there were certainly worries up until this year about his development, how good he was going to be. And we all know defensively, right? But offensively, there was, especially last year, a lot of struggles, and we understood like that's probably due to injuries, right? This year was going to be a big year for him to find out like who he really is. And again, he's capitalized in a huge, huge way. I mean, his best season like as a pro for sure, So let's talk about, him as the majors. What are you kind of expecting? Because here's something too. 11 home runs, 9 stolen bases this year. Just like you said, like this isn't like your catcher who can just hit. There's some athleticism to him. He's got 9 stolen bases. What are your expectations like rest of the year for Henry Davis as a Pittsburgh Pirate?
I think you do have to expect some sort of like adjustment period, right? Like you do with any rookie who's called up. Can you expect him to put up 165 weighted runs created pluses like he has in the minors? Probably not. I would not expect that. But I would expect at the very least, as I said, once the adjustments are made and he's kind of figured it out, hopefully that, isn't as long of a process as it's been for some people. But no, I think a reasonable expectation is a decent amount of power. Like, I mean, we're sitting here on June 19th, 10 homers for the rest of the year, and an above average major league hitter, I think would be at this point very reasonable.
Rest of the year, starting from today, who has the higher weighted run created plus? Henry Davis or Andrew McCutchen? Putting you on the spot. 2 of your favorite players.
I mean, if you're putting me on the spot, I'm going to take the track record and the professional hitter in Kutch. So okay. I'll go Kutch, but Davis certainly has the potential that he could outperform him.
Do you look at Davis? This is what I think too. I mean, we know obviously Brian Reynolds is Brian Reynolds. There's a reason he signed the extension. He's a good player. Andrew McCutchen is having the season he's having right now. Shows he's a good player. Offensively is for sure. Jack Sawinski is weird. He's still weird. He's always going to be weird. But like when you look at the OPS and the total numbers, like they're there, right? He's a good hitter. Is Henry Davis going to be a top 3 hitter the rest of the season for this team?
He has the potential to be a top 3 hitter. Will he be? Sure, why not? Let's do it. Yeah,
I like it.
He'll be top 3. Yeah,
there you go. I'm with you there. As far as the potential, like he absolutely does. He has the potential. I'm real interested. I mean, I can't say how excited I am to see. Finally, he's here. Like finally, something that Ben Cherington has drafted has like come to fruition. We get to see in the lineup. Henry Davis presents that. It's not Nick Gonzalez. It's really not a whole lot else. This is finally it. Like we're starting to see this rebuild, the fruits of the labor of all this losing. I'm excited to see what Henry Davis can actually do and bring.
And it's nice to see too, because the off season, there were definitely people down on him, right? Like the injuries that happened last year, he didn't like look the greatest at Altoona. Now it turned out he was playing like the first week in Altoona with a broken hand. And then when he came back, he was still recovering from a broken hand, right? So there was
And
that.
again, like broken hands
Yeah.
aren't something you just get over.
Right. So, but I think way too many people just absolutely gave up on him, and that was a bad decision. There was that report coming out that he was the most overrated prospect in baseball, and then it's like
Yeah, that
you
part
look at
too.
this year, and it's like, what were these people talking about? Like, what were they talking about? Because from a hitting standpoint, from a power standpoint, there are not too many players in the minors who were doing what Henry Davis did. And I'm pretty sure there was actually nobody doing what Henry Davis was doing, especially at the higher level of the minors. I think I
Yeah,
saw I
there was
saw a
that
stat
tweet.
where it was like for players like 23 or younger,
Hmm.
Henry Davis was the only person basically above rookie ball doing what he was doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're talking about an elite bat amongst his peers. Not overrated. Not an overrated prospect.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, man. Well, anything else on Henry Davis specifically that you want to talk about?
Um, no, I don't think so. I'm waiting to make sure he's number 32. So once they make the announcement, number 32, gonna have to pick up that Pittsburgh Clothing Company Louisville Slugger shirt. So
Sure. At least
might
one of
pick
them.
up a few of those. Yeah, I might just make that my entire identity going forward.
And there's Jim Rosati in the Louisville Slugger shirt. You hear that, Zach? We need all kinds of different colors.
Yeah,
At least
right.
7.
Yeah, I'm gonna need different color. I'm gonna need a black, a yellow, white. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe even like make a red one. Make like a Louisville themed one. Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
Louisville red, though, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's that. So I guess one last thing I want to ask. Your prediction for tonight, Henry Davis. His first at bat. What happens?
Hit by pitch.
Oh, wait, it's hit by pitch out 4 to 6 weeks.
That would be fitting though, right?
Debut.
Like that would be fitting. Like first major league at bat, just taking one on the elbow.
Yep. That would be, and again for the Pirates, he would be out 4 to 6 weeks. such.
No, so I'm gonna go 1 for 3 with a double and a hit by pitch.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to say I like it, but I respect it. I hate it.
But yeah, hit by pitch in the first at bat. Maybe first pitch. First pitch.
Oh, God.
HBP.
Gonna send him a message, huh? Welcome to the big leagues.
It'll just be like a slider that got away from Drew Smiley, 82 miles an hour.
You all, thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.